Hi guys, Stitch from HLTV, and I've assembled the iconic Moses with me after Cloud9 won the iBUYPOWER Cup. So, jumping right into the grand final, it had a really weird symbolic pattern where the teams crushed each other in the two maps, and then it went into overtime. Is there something behind that?
No, that was really, especially because they crushed the team on their map pick. Like each other, they stole each other's map from each other. Nothing really symbolic to it. It was just kind of, we knew those last maps were going to be good because Cash, both teams are good on it. Cabo, both teams were good on it. It was just, and Inferno was like the resurgence of Cloud9. It was just really interesting how that played out, especially with how Cloud9 progressed to the semifinal, how good they looked on Inferno yesterday, and it all just kind of seemed to crumble there for a second. They looked like they were just kind of getting beaten up, but just weird.
Yeah, it was weird because Freak told me yesterday in an interview that they added it back to their map pool. Do you think Cloud9 have even deepened their map pool, or do you think they're just playing kind of YOLO?
I think they're trying to deepen it, but I also think with the changes they're making, with nothing having more of a role in in-game calling, a looser style, they're adding a lot onto their plate very, very quickly. And I think the victories yesterday against, Conquest, who came in, really underperformed. So I think that might have given them a little bit of a false sense of security on that map specifically, saying like, oh, we can play Inferno now. For them to pick it, that's really aggressive. Didn't pan out for them, but luckily, their cash performance was ridiculous. So that's back to a map that maybe, they were great on it a few months back, so maybe that's one that actually really is back in their pool.
Okay, so starting tomorrow, it's going to be even more of an NA gangbang. You're not going to be there at the RGN Pro Series, but you'll be there at San Jose. And I guess the point of this question is, we're seeing this NA sort of story unfold. What do you think about that? Do you think this means there's a market developing that can exist for only NA teams, viewers, or just overall NA storylines?
Yeah, it definitely helps. This was the biggest CSGO event we've had in North America up until next weekend at IAM, which is kind of funny. And that's not all North American teams, that's international too, but yeah, it just helps. It helps everyone involved in the scene. Helps, Blue, who, has gotten a little bit of international travel, but as a caster, this is really helpful to him to start getting some more events. The players, if they can get this kind of exposure more frequently in North America, it's going to start helping organizations and players get a little bit more money, a little bit more dedication to the game, and hopefully it just helps bring the scene up as a whole.
It's interesting that you mentioned Blue, because I saw Thorin tweet last week that there's a nice little gang going on in the talent pool. Yeah. But do you still think there's room for a different kind of analyst or a different kind of caster? Is there something that could still be done?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You always want variety. You don't want to see the same faces everywhere. That gang, so to speak, that he speaks of is just, that came from, DreamHack Cluj. We all had a really good time together. We're just close-knit in terms of personal. We have a lot of fun together. It's not so much about blocking anyone for being in events. We're just, a group who had a couple events. They, Richard and Thorin did Cluj and then came to Sivo, where I actually drove down, not to work, just to kind of hang out. So we all just kind of have fun hanging out with each other. But especially in North America, with more events especially, there's an open market for casters. There definitely is, and Blue's kind of taking the reins right now as that next up-and-coming caster here in the region.
Speaking of having fun, yeah, you came down for Sivo, but in your future you have San Jose, and then you've had kind of a meteoric rise in general. Well, yeah. You might not say that, but
it's been a roller coaster. It certainly has been this year. So it's really, really fortunate. But
is this kind of how you wanted it to turn out, though?
Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously not going to complain. It's a blast being able to do this. It's just surprising at how quickly it happened. I was expecting more of, spending more time. I thought I'd have a little bit more time. As soon as I did that first Pro League in Germany, it all kind of exploded from there, which is fantastic. It was just very, very surprising, and it's happened so quickly.
One more thing that I just thought of, there's going to be a lot of storylines that maybe European viewers don't know coming to Earth at this upcoming event, like young players like Stewie2K, stuff like that. Do you think that is there any team or any player that you're looking out for to sort of step out from the North American region in the next month?
Basically right now is the North American scene is just so wildly inconsistent with how successful. You saw Conquest have a great Sivo, come in here and fall flat. You saw Liquid, have some good results and then come out flat at Sivo and then play well here, obviously reaching the finals. So not really looking for anyone to emerge. Stewie is a good example of a player who plays really, really well in LAN. Haven't seen too much of him at tournaments, so definitely want to see how he does. But more consistency out of the North American teams would be great to start seeing. Even Cloud9 coming out of this slump to this level, you want to see that moving forward, especially at IEM. The team that I really am actually interested in watching at this RGN tournament starting tomorrow is that Games Academy, that second Brazilian team that kind of came over, that Fallen's organization has helped get here and get some time in the States. They took CLG to a very, very close best of 3 the night before I left here for this event. So I want to see how they do. They're a team that intrigues me right now.
Okay, and final question kind of for you. 2016, everyone's saying something different about it. It's all, explosive, incendiary. What is something that you can say about it that you think without saying anything explicit?
I'm not even trying to hide anything. I have no idea. Because that's the thing, right? We have this thriving community, and everyone's just kind of waiting to hear about what's going to come in 2016. We just don't know. We have, this Turner League's been announced, but no one has details, and it kind of feels like the whole scene is like waiting to get those details before making a move in any direction. Everyone's just kind of holding their breath, and I don't really even have an inside scoop. Everyone we talk to is just like, don't know. We have these plans that we're kind of trying to make happen, but we can't say yet. We haven't put like a deadline on them. Everyone's waiting, from the organizations to the players to the casters. It's all just up in the air.
I guess we'll have to see. Okay, so we just did an interview with Moses, and we didn't get any compromising moments of him eating popsicles or something like that.
The microphone is close.
The microphone is, the microphone is actually kind of compromising. Anyways, that marks the end of this interview. We're gonna continue our coverage from here, RGN Pro Series. So just stay tuned to HLTV.org, my friends.